Hello everyone and welcome back to MotivEnglish. Today I want to share with you a story that is both funny and inspiring. It is about one of the most famous geniuses in history, a man whose name is known all over the world. But what makes his story amazing is not just his brilliant discoveries, it is also the surprising, human, and even silly moments of his life. This is the story of Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein is one of the most famous scientists in the world. When people hear the word genius, they often think of him. But the funny truth is that when Einstein was a child, many people did not believe he was smart. His teachers even thought he was a little slow. Can you imagine? The boy who later explained the universe once had trouble tying his own shoes. Einstein was born in 1879 in Germany. As a small boy, he did not begin to speak until he was almost 4 years old, and his parents worried that he might never talk at all. But when he finally found his words, he never stopped asking questions. He loved to ask why, again and again about everything he saw. Even his toys were unusual. While other children played with cars or dolls, he was fascinated by a small compass. He spent hours staring at the needle that always pointed north and wondered why it moved that way. That simple question marked the beginning of a lifetime of curiosity. And of course, there was his unforgettable hair. His hair seemed to have a life of its own, wild and unmanageable, a look that later became his trademark, almost like a logo for his mind. At school, Einstein was not the perfect student people might imagine a genius to be. He hated memorization and became bored when teachers asked him to repeat lessons without explanation. He wanted to understand ideas, not simply copy them. One of his teachers even told him he would never amount to anything. That teacher was, of course, very wrong. Einstein's story reminds us that sometimes teachers and grades cannot measure true intelligence. Many people also believe he failed in mathematics, but Einstein himself later said he never failed math at all. In fact, he was very skilled at it. As a teenager, Einstein fell in love with music. He played the violin and often said that music helped him think. It is easy to imagine him solving problems with Mozart playing in the background. He also enjoyed daydreaming. While other students listened to lessons, he imagined himself riding on a beam of light, traveling across space like a superhero. His teachers thought he was lazy, but in reality, he was performing physics experiments inside his imagination. After completing his studies, Einstein struggled to find a teaching position, and instead worked in a patent office in Switzerland. His job was to review other people's inventions, which might have seemed boring to many. But Einstein used his spare time to think about the universe. He wondered about time, light, gravity, and the nature of reality itself. In 1905, when he was only 26, he published 4 groundbreaking papers. That year became known as his miracle year. Among those ideas was the famous formula E=mc², showing that energy and mass are connected. Even if most people cannot follow the mathematics, they can understand the message. The universe is filled with energy, and Einstein discovered one of its keys. Einstein soon became famous around the world. Journalists and photographers followed him everywhere, but instead of acting serious all the time, he showed his playful side. In one famous moment, when asked to smile for a picture, he stuck out his tongue instead. That photo is still one of the most iconic images in history. He once said that imagination is more important than knowledge, a message that continues to inspire students and dreamers today. Knowledge matters, but without imagination, progress cannot happen. Later in life, Einstein moved to the United States and worked at Princeton University. He continued his scientific research, but also spoke publicly about peace and human rights. He warned against the dangers of nuclear weapons and hoped for a safer, more compassionate world. Even in old age, with hair wilder than ever, he kept his humor. When a child once asked him for help with homework, he laughed and said he no longer did homework. Einstein's life offers many lessons for young people. It is perfectly fine to be different. Shyness, strangeness, or feeling out of place can sometimes be the signs of a unique mind. Asking questions is more powerful than memorizing answers. Mistakes and criticism are not the end but part of the path to discovery. Imagination should never be forgotten. And humor makes even the greatest minds more human. It is fun to imagine Einstein as a teenager today. His hair would still be untamed, he might ride a skateboard to school with his violin strapped to his back, And in math class, he would probably stare out the window, dreaming of time travel while the teacher begged him to pay attention. Years later, that same teacher would proudly admit that the boy who seemed distracted had changed the universe. The story of Albert Einstein shows us that genius is not about perfect grades or fitting in with everyone else. It is about curiosity, imagination, persistence, and the courage to be different. Einstein was brilliant, but he was also funny and human. For every teenager who feels uncertain or out of place, his story is a reminder that the very things that make you different may be the seeds of greatness. So keep asking questions, keep dreaming, and never forget to laugh, because the answers you discover might change the world.